Hi everybody. Hi. I'm hosting this webinar today, so I think I'm going to introduce myself for the first time here, and then of course I show the map for the webinar and I do the presentation. I hope you're doing well, everyone. So if it's the first time that you came in this kind of webinar, we use a platform that's called Livestorm. And in the right panel of Livestorm, you could chat with us. So if you want to say hello or everything, there is a little chat to do that. But if you get any question about my presentation, about all the features that I show to you, there is another space, another tab who's called Q&A or questions, and in there you could put your question and I will answer it at the end of the webinar, of course. So do not hesitate to put some question there if you want to ask me something, and I could ask it later. Thank you everybody to be with us today. Like I said, I'm going to introduce myself very quickly. I'm Franco Masucci. I'm the co-founder of Signos. Signos is a little company in France who dedicate and it's specialized in visual and management tools. Of course, more in the professionals stuff. We work with large companies and teams to help teams to manage their ideas and their projects. That's why I call this webinar "How to Organize Your Ideas and Activities with Visual Management," because we're going to see how I do everything with Xmind in this case, but of course with all the methods and all the visuals that Xmind provide. So I also the creator of a blog who's called managementvisual.fr. It's a large blog, it's a big blog in France about visual tools. We get like more than 10,000 visits per month. So I think if you want to check it, there is a lot of resource. Right now, I'm going to share with you my presentation. Uh, of course. Let me check just. Okay. Uh, Okay. Actually, normally you could see my screen with the presentation that I bring to you today. So there is 6 primary points. Of course, to read the map, we will start on the top right of the map and gonna go in circle like a clock uh, uh, in the other in the way that the clock turns. So first part today is what about mind maps and software. Then next I share with you one of the methods that I developed with Signos, which is called Ideation methods. The reason to use mind mapping, the key features in Xmind, a few examples of how you create or you could create your first to the map, and of course if you have and you want to start with one mind map software, I of course I share to you my advice to start with Xmind, of course. So thank you, Christopher. So we start with mind mapping and software. So first of all, there is 3 major periods in mind mapping. The first period is the 70s. Yeah. For all people that know mind mapping, they know the first mind mapping tool was created by Tony Busson, and the first goal for my mapping is to take notes, and this the first uses that Tanivision write and create mind mapping is to make easy to learn and to comprehend, and of course to memorize things, and of course the first time in this era, my mappings are doing by hand, of course. But at the end of the 90s and the beginning of the 21st centuries, there is a lot of software that appears, and the software focalize the mind mapping to go further and provide you to make project management. So it's not also only to organize ideas. Of course, that's still the main purpose, but now, in this period, of course, there is a lot of features that appears in software, like task, like links, like enclosed documents to make project management. And the first free software that every people know is Xmind, of course, My Manager, and FreeMind. FreeMind is a large the first one of the first software mind mapping, but Xmind and My Manager are, I think, the most downloaded softwares in the beginning of this century. And in 2010s, the modern era of mind mapping, the new stuff is to collaborate. So right now, I think there are a lot of a plenty of software that allows you to collaborate with mind mapping. So of course, Xmind, with the new feature of Xmind Works, allow you to collaborate. But of course, my manager, and also these two little softwares, is only web apps like Mind Omo, My Master, are able you to collaborate. So that is the first the three major periods of mind mapping, of course. And why it's interesting to do mind mapping with the software and not by the hand is, of course, because softwares have some features, like, of course, create maps easy and adding image and icons more simple, but adding external elements is very important to make a centralization of all the documents and information that you need to manage everything, ideas, but of course product. And of course there is a co-editing options and presentation options that that allows you to share easily the things that you do in mind maps. Also, there is some benefit and some disadvantage. So let's take a look. The first benefit is the use, because it's very intuitive to use a software of mind mapping. Uh, there is a lot of software to manage ideas and tasks, but the reality is that mind mapping softwares are very easy. In like 10 minutes, you're able to do everything with mind map software. Of course, you could change the multi-view, the view. So we're gonna see that later with Xmind. And of course, travel between global and detail. And that is very important when you need to manage a product. The other benefits is the consolidation, that, like I said just before, you're able to put everything in one and only one visual, and with one click travel around all the information that you need. But there is three little disadvantage. The first is that I why that's why I gonna talk about a method just before. You need to have a little method to make it powerful, because if you don't have a method, the map gonna have a lot of information, and the the good part of visual is to try to keep it simple. So if that's complicated, that's not very useful. So you need to have a little bit. Of course, it's it's better if you have the possibility to invest in a pet solution, because a pet solution of mind mapping software have more features. Of course, with more features, you could go further. So of course, it's interesting. But I think in my own vision, one of the most important disadvantages is that mind mapping is not very recognized in the professional world. Most people think that mind mapping is just for kids or for education, and I think they never really use mind mapping softwares to see how important and how powerful could be a mind mapping software. But that's only a little obstacle, I think. If you used to do mind maps and you present mind maps to other people, it's a barrier easy to go to get through. There is another advantage to mind mapping software, and is the capacity, the ability to do everything with mind mapping software. You could go to creativity, to collaboration, and of course make project presentation and take decisions with mind mapping software. Of course, again, that's need a little bit of method, but that's one of the most powerful things about mind mapping software, is the diversity of things that you could do. In my opinion, I think mind mapping software are the most valuable kind of software, because in my own life, I use mind mappings to do everything, to organize my travels, to organize myself, to organize my project, but also little things like administration stuff, when I need to go um, to a public establishment, and I need to prepare documents. I have always find that the better solution is to organize all with mind maps, and that's very useful for me. So that's all about mind mapping and software. As you see, mind mapping software today have a lot of benefits. The disadvantage that they have are very small. It's most about perception of mind mapping. But if you use mind map, I think for you it's not a question. Uh, so so let's go to the other point. So, as I said just before, if you use mind mapping, you need to have a little method. Of course, I don't talk about the method of do mind maps. I think to do a mind map, of course, it's a lot of training. Of course, sometimes you need to make a train with someone to help you to have the basics of mind mapping. But for me, it's very intuitive to create a map. But of course, if you want to organize your ideas and your activities, it's better to have a real method to know when and how use mind mapping in which situation. That's why we create ideation method. Ideation method is this method I showed to you. is a method based on two things. First, the world of ideas, and the second one is the world of action. But not only words and ideas. The other stuff that we cross over ideas in action is the emergence, structuring, and validation process. These are three processes that we have when we think and we do anything. Your brain could be on emergence phases, on structuring phases, or in validation phases. And of course, when your brain is focalized in one of these phases, the process of thinking is not the same. That's why we cross the world of ideas and the action wall with these three phases. And as you can see, if you are in emergence and in the world of ideas, the stuff that you need to do is brainstorming. I think everything is now what's brainstorming, and we make this method in 6 steps to help people to do the things in the right way. Because sometimes when we talk with people that want to make mind mapping, they want sometimes go quick, and when you do it quick, you of course you forget things, and every time that we go to companies and they want to put mind mapping softwares and mind mapping techniques to perform in their project, they want to do planning, action plan, and this kind of things. But they forget to have a good structuration and clarification of the world of ideas, and then they're used to have problems in the world of the actions. That's why if you want to make your organization of ideas and activities good, the our advice is to pass by all the steps. Okay, so that is very important. It's why we create these methods. I don't tell you at the beginning of the webinar, but of course this map gonna be shared at the end of the webinar, and you could take a look and every visual that I show to you. And for ideation method, I also put a PDF here with all the explanation of the method. Of course, I don't have enough time to explain all the methods today. That's why I have I I I, I do to you a little uh, resume about that. But of course, if you want to see more, there is a PDF. So that's the method. The method is only a way to focalize yourself when you go to organize your ideas or your activities. You need to know where you are. You are in brainstorming. You need to bring out of ideas. Okay, this is the phase one. You need to structuring ideas. Okay, that's the phase two. But you need to be sure that the phase one are ended. So that's the great thing about ideation method, that could provide you a chart to evaluate if you are in the right place or not. So that is very important. So that's about the little method that I encourage you to use when you need to organize your ideas or your activities. It's just to follow the step 1 to 6 if you need to manage something, even if it's just a thing very easy to do. It's a very good way to have a clear mind of what you need to do. So here I quick show you 5 good reasons to use mind mapping, and not another kind of techniques to do your organization or ideas and activities. First of all, as I show you in the meetup of Ideation, there is a lot of people don't take care of the phases 1, 2, and 3, the phases of ideas, because they go quick and they want to go to the actions. But of course, it's very important to uh, have a good treatment of these phases. Why? Because the ideas are the support of your actions. So if your ideas are not structured, are no record, are not stable, there is a lot of accident or problems or issue that you could go through in the world of the action. So I encourage you again to treat better the phase 1, 2, and 3. And with mind mapping software is very easy, because you could create an organization with branches, the little links between subjects and topics, very easy. So that's allow you to have a good structuration of idea, and it's better to take the good decisions. So that's one of the good reason to use mind mapping. The other one is to have a visual dashboard. If you ever in your life drive a car, you got something like that, with colors and icons to help you to drive good, to go to to achieve your objective. Okay. So what in a car is very very easy, because your only objective is to go somewhere. But this kind of icons and dynamic icons with colors are much more efficient than any kind of dashboard. That's why we have this kind of dashboard in a drive. But actually, you have this type of dashboard everywhere, because you have it also in your computer, you have also in your smartphone. And even today, a lot of a lot of uh, a lot of machines that you use in your daily life have this kind of indicators. So that's it's provided with by my mapping software with markers. Markers is one of the features that we will see later. The third one is navigate between detail and global vision. As you could see, I open and I close branches to go inside the detail of the information. And I could also, of course, close the detail of information if I want to see a global vision. And that is one of most powerful thing that my mapping software got, because in others kind of software you are not allowed to do that. If you need to change the vision of your plan or of your project, you need to do another kind of visual. And with mind mapping is very easy, because you could only close and open the branches, and this is very easy. And again, I gonna show you with a to-do map later, and you will see it's very intuitive and very useful when you need to manage ideas or tasks. The fourth one is make, of course, a better decision and accelerate, of course, the decision. That's only because mind mapping software allows you to filter information. So you could filter information very easy to focalize yourself in one kind of task or one kind of priority of one kind of progression of a task. So that's very comfortable to use mind mapping to accelerate your analysis and decision making. And the five one and the last is to improve communication. Of course, that's only if you want to share your mind map or if you collaborate with people. But today, share the advance of your project or make a presentation of your project. The most part of the time, you need to grab your project and put it in a PowerPoint presentation and transpose your elements to your software of management project and to put in a PowerPoint to share to your team. And that's not necessary with mind mapping software, because with mind mapping software, with features of mind mapping software, you could already be able to present your to present your product or to share the product. Also, if you have mind mapping software with pro features, with that's one of the limits, but it's this way. If you have a paid software, you'll be able to collaborate in real time, and that's very useful when you manage a project at distance or you manage a lot of people in working distance. So that's the five most good reasons to sorry to use up. I close this one. Okay, to use mind mapping softwares. So now we see this side of the map is more the theoric part of the map. It's about method, about reason. Now we're going to see the practical side of the map, is how I do this kind of stuff with Xmind. So one of the first things that I want to show you is the features that Xmind got to do all the thing I showed to you very easy. And then I show you example of that with several and different to-do map that you could use, and that could be also templates if you want to start with my maps right after this webinar. So there is two key features, two key kind of thing that you are going to do if you want to organize your ideas and activities with Xmind, is centralize information and of course make task progression or track the task progression. To centralize your information, Xmind provides you two ways to enclose information: internal options. So of course you could put branches and sub branches, but you could also enclose notes. There is notes to add long descriptions of anything that you could add to your map, and audio notes. Audio notes is very useful if you don't have enough time to type everything with your keyboard and you want to talk to Xmind. There is a little way to put audio notes, and you could just record everything you said, and then of course listening again your recording, and maybe take notes later. But of course there is another way, is the external information. And for this, you could add files by links. You could do it in two ways. You could make a link to a local file, or of course make a enclosed file inside your map to be able to open it when you want. Is that thing that I put here with this allows me to open a PDF file. And I also make a link to a folder. If you work in a desktop, like is in my case, I install Xmind in my computer. I could link my map to folders on my hard drive. So I click here, and that open automatically the folder, and I can able to reach directly the files that are in my folders, and it's very easy. And for the end, the links, of course, to a web pages. So when you combine this this these ways to centralize your information, you could, and I think you see, we could centralize everything, and you could have everything to one click in your map. That's very comfortable, because actually when you manage your activities or your ideas, the problem is that we use and we lost a lot of time to search things that we have in our favorites on the web browser, or in our computer. So if you put links here in your map, and you enclose all in your map, you could achieve to go for any kind of documents since your map, and that's very nice. So that's the futures for the world of the ideas, of course. But if you want to go to the world of the actions, there is also a key futures to know. The first future, I think the main future, the main powerful future is for me the markers. The markers allows you to put little icons in your branches to know what's the priority and where is the level of urgency, or everything that you could do with it, and you could define what the markers signify. If you want to make to make any everything you want with markers, you are able to do that. But there is one key thing to know. It's if you use markers, you need to define a priority scale. And I advise you to make a three-level priority of three levels of priority is enough to manage your task, and two level of urgency if you want to know if your tasks are urgent or are not urgent. Um, why I advise you that? Because if you have a lot of markers all around your map, uh, you don't want to be able to take a quick view of priorities or of your urgencies. It's like your car dashboard. If your car dashboard is always with all the lights that are on, and all the icons are on, you don't be able to know what is the important thing. So that's why in your dashboard card only is able and only it's on the icon that is used that is um, is required to take a decision. So that's why I encourage you again to only use a few markers and not put a lot of markers all around your map. So that's it for the priority. But of course, you could add marker of progression task, and I show you later for in the examples that Xmind have a new feature called task, who allows you to put checkboxes to simulate, like a to-do list, but with branches. And that's very cool if you have little project, if you have little activities, and you don't need to have this scale, very large scale of progress. You could only use the checkbox to know if your task is okay or not okay. And if you want to go further, you could also add tags. I show you it later again, but you could put tags, and we use tag the most part of the time. We use tags to make to put dates or resources. Why? Because the tags needs to be short. So if the tag is very long, the tags gonna be cut in the middle. So the tags need to be short, and that able you to put due dates or resources is the two ways that we use tags to plan your activity. So with I make a zoom. Okay, so with I don't think you see everything. Okay, here it's better. So with all these kind of features that Xmind have, you could do everything to organize your ideas and your activities. Uh, Today, Xmind is one of the best tools to start my mapping for me, because is not very expensive. That's one of the best of the best arguments, but it's real. It's not very expensive, and for the prices is very complete. We have a lot of features that allows you to organize your ideas and activities very easy. Um, so for the end of this webinar, of the part of my presentation, I show you some templates to make your life easier if you need to choose one kind of structures to manage your ideas or your activities. There are four kind of type of organization. So I show it all, and of course I show also templates that you could download after the webinar if you want to start with any kind of this template. So the most uses kind of organization is by activities. Is the way that I organize myself. Is like a to-do map, I call it. Of course, because that's I think to-do list. So the 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 Xmind or the visual management way is a to-do map. And the to-do map I show you here. Here is a to-do map. Okay, so that's it's not my to-do map, but it's a real good version of what is my real to-do map. And the way that we create a to-do map is very easy. I put all my activities around the main topic, the central topic, and then I put my task at a low level, and I use markers, of course, to check the progress of all my task. So of course, I I detail all my actions, and then I put the markers in a way to just be able to click here and go there. Of course, if you add to your map some links, I don't know if yeah, you know, LinkedIn update business profile, and here I have the link to go directly to my LinkedIn and update the business profile on LinkedIn. That's one of the best thing that I could show you with my mapping by activities, and of course the way that I could close everything and open only first branches if I want to see a global view, and then if I need to switch and go to the detail, I could do it in one click. That's the best thing to do when you have a mind map by activity. It's for me, it's one of the best way to organize yourself, because it takes only few clicks to go to all the tasks and have an overview of all your project. One more advice: if you want to do a to-do map by activity, I advise you to create an inbox topic. The inbox topic is like the inbox in your mail. So it's like when someone say to you something, and you don't know where you go to put it, you put it there in the inbox, and then when you have enough time, you go to categorize it in the right thing, in the right topic. That is very important, because if someone say to you something and you don't know how to what to do it with it, you're gonna put it in one place of your brain, and this idea gonna to pollute all your thinkings, and you're not able to be clear to achieve your task in progress. So if you want to do a to-do map by activity, don't forget to put an inbox topic. If you want to organize it by temporal organization, there is two ways: week and month. I show, of course, you a map. So if you want to organize your tasks by week, you could put all the days of a week, and then you put your task on a lower level. That's uh, it's a nice organization to do it by week or by month. I show the same thing by month with the weeks, years, and the task year. The only problem about this kind of organization, if it's that you need to move a task that are not finished to the next day or the next week. If I finish this one and I finish this one, but I don't finish these two, I need to move it to next week. So that's kind of a nice type of organization, but that's necessary to move your all your tasks week by week or day by day when they are not finished. But in this kind of organization, I encourage you to do not to use the other features that I show to you. I gonna to delete delete these markers, and I show you the task features of Xmind. I could put task here, and you have your checkbox. But the feature that I love when this task feature, if you put a task here in a superior branches, you have this kind of circle, and when you finish your task, the circle follow the quantity of terminated task. That's very cool when you have when you have a little task, very easy task to do, and you do not need a graduation of the advance of the progression of the task, but only to check if it's finished or not. I think it's more interesting to use the future of task, of course, and of course it's the same with the month. There is another way to organize yourself is by priority. I don't know if you are if you know this template. It's a template. It's a template created by Eisenhower. Is he was because he was a general in the United States, and he create a template to organize your tasks by the urgency and the important things. So you have four ways to organize your tasks, and you could put it in the right in the right spaces. And the advice of Eisenhower when he create this template is not only to uh, organize your tasks, but also what what do you need to do if you put this task in one of these four branches. Of course, if it's urgent and important, you need to do it. But if it's important and not urgent, you could schedule it. If it's not urgent and not important, you could eliminate. And if it's not important, sorry, and urgent, maybe you could delegate it. So it's a good way to organize yourself, but I think it's more a way to organize a period in your project or a moment in your project where you have a lot of tasks and you don't know how what to do. So you could use this matrix to help you to know how to do with a lot of tasks in some critical period of one of your projects. And the last kind of organization is by task status. I think you already heard about it. It's the Kanban method, like this one, and you have a column to the to-do task, the in progress task, and the done task. And of course, you could also put, and that's a very good features in Xmind and in Visual Tools, that you could put some description and some specificities of the task in the sub branches, and it's not only a list of tasks. You could also put subtask if you want to be precisely to precise something else in the task. And of course, if a task is on the way, you could just move your task between the three columns. So that is the fourth way that I propose you to organize yourself. Of course, this kind of visuals to make your to-do map is also a version of the world of the ideas. So of course, if you want to be efficient with Xmind, to do that, you need to make in the first step only a map with all your ideas, and then organize it by one of these four ways that I show to you. So we see the features on Xmind, the examples to organize it by to-do map. So the end of this webinar, or the end of my presentation, is to encourage you to start with Xmind. Why you need? I advise you to start with Xmind. The first, like I said at the beginning, I think the relationship between the prices and the futures that Xmind propose are very good. Um, I at the beginning of the webinar, I say to you that I have a company who do trainings and consulting about visual tools. Of course, we work with a lot of tools. We work with Mind Manager, we work with MyNomo, we work with Miro, we work with Trello, we work with a lot of tools. But I think Xmind is the best relationship between prices and features to start. I always advise people who don't know which kind of mind mapping software they need to try to start mind mapping, and I every time I advise and I propose to start with Xmind. For me, it's one of the better tools to start. And the other thing for me is very interesting with Xmind is they able you to collaborate. Of course, collaboration is not one main topic for all of you, but I think collaboration today with working at distance is very important. So with the version of Xmind works, you could store maps in your Google Drive and collaborate with it directly in Xmind. So that's very useful in you want to start. Of course, if you need help to start, there is free tutorials to start. They are very good. So it's easy to start with my mapping. It's very easy. And of course, if you want to go to the pro futures, you could buy Xman. I think we could share with you a coupon code or affiliation code if you want to buy it with a little discount. But for me, you could comfortable go with Xmind to make your first step on mind mapping software. Of course, there is I think I don't know if I say it, but Xmind have a free version if you want to start. So it's not very complicated. If you want to download the free version to start, you're able to do it. So that's all about my presentation. I hope you enjoy it. I hope I be I be clear. I don't know. I hope it's okay for all. I think I gonna answer some question, because I see there is a question in the question panel. So if you want to ask me any question, do not hesitate to put in the question panels, and I take the question if there are a question here. Okay, of course. Um, of course, there is a replay. There is the map you could download. Uh, Someone I checked the chat because Jose asked what is the difference between mind mapping and concept mapping. Mind mapping and concept mapping are not the same tool. Mind mapping are organized by the center. You have a center and you have branches and sub branches, and the hierarchy of ideas are made by the place in the map. Concept mapping is concepts linked by arrows, and the arrows have keywords between to link two kind of concept bar. But in concept map, there is no necessarily a hierarchy. You could do a concept map like you want. A concept map are tools is more using by quality to do process or diagrams, and is not very recommended to make brainstorming or ideas management. So I think concept mapping is most for people who need to provide a very structured process and share it with people to do it in a unique way. For me, concept mapping is more for finished knowledge. It's not for something that gonna have a lot of evolution and a lot of progressions. Uh, I have just one more question. Someone asked at the beginning. Okay. Thank you, thank you, everybody. Someone asked me what the difference between a to-do list and a to-do map or my mapping. Um, the the main difference is, of course, the organization. The to-do list provide you only one way to do task, because the to-do list is organized to the top and to top to the low. So actually, when you got a list, your brain um, wants to achieve the task in the same order in the list, and that's it's an obstacle for people. It's an obstacle for our brain, because the ideas and the task that you want to complete or to achieve have not formally order. Sometimes you have an idea and is not in the place of a list. Is maybe not in another topics, and that's why mind mapping is better to organize a task than a list. uh, I think a list maybe is could be used when you have a little amount of task, and you need to follow the order to achieve this task. But if you need to organize a lot of activities at a lot of tasks, a to list I don't think is the better way to do it. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. uh, I think there is I don't I think there is no more question. So thank you, everybody, to listen to this presentation. I hope again you enjoy it. I think Crystal already share the link of this map if you want to download the map to go and see templates or go to see the PDF of the method. Of course, again, this very uh, a summary of this of how to organize your ideas and activities. If you want to go to test it, I think you need to download Xmind, and one of one of the good things of Xmind. There is also a lot of templates. If you want to start with one of my templates, of course you are able to do it, but Xmind provides you a lot of different templates if you want to do other kind of stuff. So again, download the Xmind and test it if you want to start mind mapping. For me, again, it's one of the best tools to organize myself, to organize my ideas and activities. So I encourage you to start to try it. And I think if you let it and you give you like 1 week to try it, you're gonna adopt it and never again do it as another way. So again, thank you very much, everyone, and I hope we will see in another webinar maybe next year. I Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye, everybody.